Hello. In this brief podcast, I'm going to share several suggestions, practical applications of differentiation in the school library. These suggestions were all taken from a number of different resources, which you can find at the resources page linked at the bottom of this podcast. Differentiated learning has been an area of interest of mine ever since my final practicum, when I worked with a teacher who was incredibly skilled at designing her learning environments, her program, all of her instruction to meet a really wide variety of student needs. And that became an area of interest for me, and I'm really excited to share a few, hopefully, tips you'll be able to immediately implement in your library or classroom to support differentiation and success for all students. Suggestion number 1 is to differentiate by presenting content in multiple different ways. So this could look like presenting content verbally, presenting content in a written form, presenting content using visuals, using video, using hands-on experiences, recognizing that the more opportunities you give students to engage with the material, the more likely it is that every student will find a way into the material and into a greater understanding of the material. Within the library, this differentiation might look like having a really wide variety of resources, including text, visual, audio, print-based, online, and hands-on materials. This strategy is valuable because it doesn't require students necessarily to identify the specific way that they learn best, because we know that students learn best in a really wide variety of ways, and instead of designing multiple modes to meet the really specific needs of students in your class or students at your school, if you design with many wide varieties in mind, if you consistently provide many kinds of content and kinds of experiences, you are way more likely to actually meet the needs of all students. Tip number 2 is to look at your physical space. Within your library, is it possible for all of your students to move around, to access resources, to work with a small group? If not, consider redesigning your library space to maximize collaboration, minimize distractions, and ensure that every student is able to use the space well. Number 3, show students multiple ways of expressing their learning. Give students opportunities to authentically show their work using various forms of technology, multimedia, presentation, comic books, photo essays, skits, interactive games. The library is great because it has many resources that students can use to show their work. The library is a really authentic space, and this is a really awesome opportunity that you have to differentiate and to support teachers as they differentiate in assessment. Number 4, recognize that co-teaching helps you differentiate. As a teacher librarian, you bring a unique set of expertise, knowledge, resources, and skill, and that can be used to support classroom teachers in instruction and to provide more resources, modes of entry, ideas, and support for students as you differentiate. Utilizing co-teaching, not just librarians supporting teachers, but actually actively planning, teaching, and assessing together is a huge way to increase your differentiation within the classroom and the library. Finally, number 5 is flexibility. Recognize that differentiation is a journey, not a destination, and that as you design instruction and assessment to accommodate a wide range of student needs, interests, and abilities, your ability to be receptive to students will be your greatest strength in growing in the skill of differentiation. I hope some of these tips were helpful to you, and if you want to learn more about differentiation within the classroom and the school library, you can view the resources listed below this video.